Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the Summit 3 presented by Gigabyte. We're in the China qualifier phase 2 action and we're near the bitter end of this long qualifier. It's been really grueling, all these matches, but we have made it almost to the final set as we're in the lower bracket final. It's HyperGlory team taking on EHOME in a best of 3 matchup. We just witnessed EHOME play very top-notch Dota to take down HyperGlory team, which almost felt effortless right there. And now it's going to be pressure on, well, HyperGlory team to fight back and try to take it to a game 3. Otherwise, EHOME are going to be pushing on past them and facing LGD in a bit of a rematch there in the grand final. I'm going to be KotLGuy bringing you the coverage here for Beyond the Summit, and I'm going to be joined remotely from my good buddy RyuUboruZDotA. Welcome back, my friend, and well, let's hope that this time HyperGlory team are going to be able to put up a bit of a bigger fight here. Otherwise, they're just going to be pushed aside, and all that awesome HyperGlory team performance we saw just might not mean quite as much.
Right, it looks like EHOME's on their A game today. It looks like they've showed up to play ball, and HGT haven't yet. So this is where they can turn it around. Anything is possible here. You know, I just think that it came down to, you know, the aggressive trialing kind of not working out, and then not contesting that first Roshan definitely hurt them a lot in the long run. So it's going to be interesting to see how they want to play this game. I think banning out EHOME's banning out the troll, so that's a nice start. We won't be seeing that. We didn't even see troll do too much last game, right? It just felt like the hero, yeah, he just farms and farms and farms, but he didn't really acquire too many towers. They got the one tower top and maybe the tower bottom when their high ground was being sieged, but so it was nothing really impressive coming out from him. And just, I would like to see EHOME ban out the sniper, and then we're gonna get a wisp. And
yeah,
maybe, you know, get that wisp tiny going.
I mean, they're thinking hard about it. They're like, okay, if we ban the wisp, they're gonna take sniper, and if we ban the sniper, they're gonna take wisp. How are we feeling about this? Who do we feel more comfortable going against? I think it'd be more risky to give HyperGlory team the wisp, to be honest with you. I think,
right,
you know, they could, you know, you're used to going against the sniper by this point. But nope, they're not going to do it. This has got to be a wisp here. If this is not a wisp, I don't know what to say.
I mean, it's either Wisp or Storm, right? I think Storm is definitely one of the strongest heroes in this metagame.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
It's a tough call, right? I think the best heroes in Dota right now, at least for support, are Wisp, Venge, and these heroes that can just save you from afar.
10 seconds remaining.
And those two heroes provide it, and I can't really think of any other heroes. I mean, Witch Doctor is kind of up there for me too. If you can get some great cast off,
Lion's pretty good.
Turn the fight around.
You know, he's just like one you can get, and he'll make it work. But yeah, you know, and then you got some of your more really defensive supports if you want to reach for like a Dazzler or something. But there it is. You know, they thought a bit about it, so they'll get their wisp. But now EHOME could just grab up that Storm Spirit, as you talked about right here. And you know, we haven't got to see much Storm Spirit. In fact, I don't even remember. And okay, well, they're not getting it, and it's a first pick Tidehunter, which if this was anyone else but ROTK, I'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But ROTK loves this hero still, and will still play it, and he's the captain, so, you know, what he says apparently goes. So if he wants to grab it up as their first pick and pass over something precious like a Storm Spirit, then, well, so be it. He'll just happily take it upon himself to get that. And then even the Ancient Apparition, which is, I understand this is a great grab to get early to go against the Wisp. I mean, it renders his, that's a tricky one. It renders his sustain ability useless if he's able to land that Ice Blast. So, you know, I can understand it there. Yeah, it's just, the sustainability gets a bit tricky there with the Ice Blast coming in, and now a Storm Spirit is going to get picked up from HyperGlory team. So, you know, EHOME are handing over a couple of pretty top-notch picks here to HyperGlory team, and we'll have to see, you know, if they're happy to take this kind of a risk. It's got to be something they expect. So, you know, we could potentially see something to take it back to them. Maybe even a silencer could be picked up here from EHOME. We'll have to see.
Reserve time.
Right. Silencer's pretty good. You know, if you see this Tide Ravage canceling Wisp relocates, I might go crazy. I might like, what? RTK, man. It's essentially, you know, one of the best counters, I think. You can just stop, you can do a lot of things with Tide. I'm kind of sad it's fallen off just as well as the Darkseer, but we saw Darkseer work last game, and we're seeing probably Tide working out this game. I mean, my favorite heroes to counter out Wisp Relocate is Tidehunter and Disruptor, as well as Witch Doctor. You know, those three heroes are amazing. You can get the cask off right when they immediately come in, and then they can't even move sometimes. You got the Tidehunter Ravage to counteract, and you also have the Disruptor with Glimpse. You can send one back, or you could just immediately pop that kinetic field, put the ulti down. So there's a lot of things to deal with it, and well, EHOME, I like this pickup a lot. I think this time around with Inflame playing the Queen of Pain, and I think he's going to be able to put a lot more pressure onto a Storm Spirit than you are going to be able to put on a Sniper. So he should have a relatively good time in the laning phase. It depends on how the Wisp is going to be roaming in this early game. Is he going to come out and heal Storm Spirit? Are they going to be dual lanings? And with HGT playing Lina last game as a support, I think it's going to be the same thing this game too.
Yeah, I'm wagering it's going to be a support Lina as well. It's usually always a support Lina with a lot of these Chinese teams. They haven't really been running the mid Lina a whole lot like we see on the western side of Dota. So, but we also see a lot more Shadow Fiend kind of get snagged up early on, and then you kind of reach for a Lina. Maybe even a Wind Ranger might pop up from time to time, but in this case, Lina, they find a great, Zhao Wei has been playing tons of support Lina and doing very, very good with it for LGD. And Hyperglory team probably looking to do a bit of the same here, as I imagine that's going to be Pretty Haw's pickup there. So now they need a bit of late game. They need their own personal off laner. Clockwork is one that bounces out to me right now, but also Bristleback does. And Bristleback is a good frontliner to have. He's a good partner for Wisp throughout the game as well, and something they could consider here. I mean, he could run into a little bit of trouble with an Ice Blast, and it could kind of wither him down.
Centaur.
Oh, Centaur is also pretty good. Yeah, we don't see enough of that anymore either.
I think AA counters Bristleback, as you're kind of saying here, and Rubik counters Clock. So I wouldn't want to see really any of those two. I mean, Bristleback against Chilling Touch is pretty scary too. Queen of Pain has a lot of damage with her ulti as well, and being pure and all. So I mean, it could be a great pick frontliner as long as you don't get hit by the AA blast. And so yeah, I would say Bristle or Centaur. And like you're saying, it could be really well for this last pick, because I think you want to always save your last pick as that that niche pick, maybe like a chaos. All right, well, I wanted to say they pick it later, but they picked it now, and this is very interesting. I think I saw Loda on Alliance play Wisp Chaos Knight the other day, and they did amazing stuff with it, and they won that game.
IG also have been playing it very recently, as recent as just, yesterday. It didn't work out so good for them in their most recent matchup, and they were confident enough to grab it, Wisp Chaos Knight as their immediate 1-2 punch in the draft. And, they had a bit of off and on success. They found a couple of wins with it, but then when they really needed the win, it didn't really come together when they were facing Hyperglory team. Now Hyperglory team take a bit of that, and now I guess they do their own nod towards IG after taking them out, and they're going to be the ones now to rep the Chaos Knight and Wisp. I love Chaos Knight. I mean, sure, if you kind of technically look at his character, the guy's tiny like a jockey, but I think he's just a badass hero overall. He's kind of like the Headless Horseman, and when he's able to pull out that Lucky Phantasm, you just have this huge army that could just swarm through a base, and just next thing you know, you're getting brought into a rift, and you're just instantly surrounded, and there's just huge amounts of damage. You're able to build so much tank onto him, and he just benefits from the damage with that. And it's just a fun grab to see here. And well, EHOME see this, and maybe they think, well, we got to have someone that could spread and be able to put the damage out there in a full AoE to eliminate those illusions and quickly rid of them. And I guess a flat cannon is probably one of the best things you can ask for here. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a ZYF gyrocopter, funny enough.
Yeah, getting gangbanged by a Chaos Knight, that's definitely not fun. You get all these crits on your face, and then you just like melt. It's happened to me a lot of times. The biggest problem with Chaos Knight is the mana pool. When you have IO and the sustainability, it allows you to do this. Otherwise, Chaos Knight is probably the worst carry in the game right now. You can only really couple him up with with the KotL and with because he really does have a low mana pool, and that is his biggest suffering right now. So with this gyro pickup though, they have a lot of AoE before that. They had the Rubik with Fadebolt. Queen of Pain has her ultimate, her Scream. Tidehunter with Ravage and his other spell. It's hard to say, Riptide. Jeez. And then Gyro now with this huge amount of AoE. This is going to be very scary for this Chaos Knight, for his illusions to survive in these team fights. And that's a lot of their physical damage, right? They're going to be trying to pick you apart, but when they go for these big team fights, you're going to be seeing the Zeus now.
I like the Zeus, and I feel like these teams don't really pick it up a whole lot. You know, he offers a lot in whatever position you put him in. You know, he's very versatile, support, off lane, mid laner, you know, so he's very flexible. He doesn't give a lot of information out there when you even pick it up early in the draft. And, well, he offers good global presence right there. He gives you that extra bit of vision. He could be like the smoke detector if you see only kind of, you know, 2 people on the map and they suddenly go missing and you kind of need to know what the hell's going on. You just hit down that R button and suddenly it could be a whole plan, you know, ruined just like that. So, and obviously with that passive, it could ruin anyone who's looking to initiate, someone like your Tidehunter or maybe like your Gyrocopter who's trying to get in there quickly. And next thing you know, they're kind of stuck without having access to their Blink Dagger. So, well, I jinxed myself, I guess, Ryu. This is one of those few times where I pop in and it is Slideshow Dota, so I'm going to quickly do the DC and reconnect right here. I'm doing it pretty fast, so we shouldn't be missing anything. But I guess just before I hop back into it, now that we see the full draft there, any sort of early wages as far as who has the stronger lineup in this one?
I would say EHOME has this early game. Like, I thought last game that HGT could have the early game advantage here, but they kind of went that aggressive tri-lane and they kind of lost. But this time around, I think EHOME does. Zeus in the offlane comparatively to a Tide, that's not really a good trade-off. I think RTK is going to be able to get a lot more done. You can always retreat to the jungle or the Ancients if need be.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have Queen of Pain, who's almost unkillable, you could say, and they have to basically force rotations out from the Wisp. So they're going to be looking really well, and it looks like EHOME's going to be playing aggressive this game. I don't know. Okay,
the battle begins.
Interesting lanes coming out from EHOME this time. Are they going? No. They're just going to go back down, realizing that maybe that HGT are dodging, or they're just going to get that rune. Westbrook's in the top lane, so they predicted the dodge. Now they're coming back bottom. This is going to work out really well for EHOME here.
Both these teams are just running all over the place, trying to be one step ahead to the other, because we saw from last game, if you don't have the right lane setup and it doesn't work out, that could affect their whole game. So, you know, there's a lot of value there, and even if you're going to be tardy to the lane to kind of get the early bits of CS, you just kind of want to make sure you get the better matchup. So they're going to take a moment to kind of readjust their laning setup and get squared away. And I did hesitate a bit because yeah, Quap is.
I mean, Quap is owning mid.
He's going to be having a
top lane
time.
though. RTK is getting harassed very heavily. I mean, that was just he just walked up to them, took a remnant in the face. That was a pretty aggressive play from him.
This is just such an interesting. It's been a while since I've seen the good old safe lane Storm Spirit here, and he's going to be accompanied with pretty hot. These are a couple of typical mid laners who are now going to be side by side to kind of help this lane out as they take it back to ROTK. He'll continue to eat a little bit of that early nuke damage here, and yeah, that mid lane matchup, your Queen of Pain going toe-to-toe with the dynamic duo of CK and Wisp. And by the way, I was a bit caught off guard during the back end of that draft because I noticed out of the corner of my eye someone yelling at me in the chat. Make sure they had to put it in all caps that, KotLGuy, you're wrong. The last time they played Wisp and CK, they dominated. Okay, you're right. You're right. I did flub that one. The last time IG did play Wisp and CK, they actually won that game. Okay, thank you for yelling at me. I got it now. No mercy, apparently, so I'm going to shut that chat down. I don't want to look at them anymore if they're going to be so violent about everything. And well, looking back here at the bottom lane, it's your Westbrook solo Zeus matchup here, and he's got a tough test going against this kind of tri-lane matchup, and it's not that hard to kind of bully back the Zeus. I mean, he's lucky enough to kind of get close to sneaking a quick Art Lightning to get some CS, but even here, he's like, I can't even get this rune without getting bullied from Lanham.
Yeah, and mid lane, they got a stun into a pullback. They need, if they get a 3-second stun though, it could be very bad for the Queen of Pain, but luckily it's only level 1. Maximum is only 2, and that was only a 1 second there. So Inflame, he was doing really well. He got 5 denies in the early, but this is where Wisp shines and with the CK, and they have to have Lanham helping him over here. But if Lanham's over here, this could be really bad for him. He can get picked off pretty easily too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Wisp +1 in this mid lane, whether it's your CK or Tiny. You know, you could think that you're doing pretty well. Maybe they kind of has CK or the Tiny out on his own, looking pretty weak, and that he might not have enough mana to do a combo, but then a Wisp will fly in out of nowhere with a bottle, and suddenly they're just kind of jumping on your ass and dishing out a huge combo worth of damage, and you're going to be hit with the first blood. So they definitely have to catch it out. Here they go. I mean, just like that, they get the Rift on the Lanham. He's able to get the telekinesis to throw them back, but you can just see that even the little spirits knock him down almost to death, and then they're forced to kind of step back in a way. It even forces out a rotation from DDC, so, I mean, that's what you're talking about. You got to be careful. You can't play with fire when you're in a lane with your CK and your Wisp.
Right. Yeah, that should have been first blood, I think. It was, Air was trying to do as much damage as he could. And see, this is all he has to do. Air just Reality Rift once, make this Big Queen of Plane blink. So this is very scary. If you do look though, ROTK is getting his levels. He is level 4. He only has 7 CS though, but getting the levels is the most important thing. He can always catch back up with the Ancients. So, and then we always have ZYF. That's gonna be their hero this game.
Yeah, ZYF kind of playing pretty passive in the lane for now. Knows that a couple of people are missing, and we'll wait for the creeps to kind of come to him to make it work. But there's going to be the tether in to top lane. RTK already is in a good spot. I mean, he's got the creep wave not that far from his tower. In fact, it's going to be right under his tower now. So I mean, he's in good standing here for his Tidehunter to kind of soak in plenty of XP. I mean, he's almost level 5 at 4 minutes in. It's a good spot for him to be at. He's able to also get 11 and 3 CS. RTK is having a pretty damn good offlane experience right now with his Tidehunter, I gotta say.
Yep, he's doing amazing things here. They have a rotation from Lanham. His haste rune did expire, so not going to be making too much happen. If they play too aggressive, that's what Lanham's here for, and DDC. They want to try to be cute and, you know, harass him any more than he needs to be. This will be the death of ZSMJ, I think, or Pretty Hall. First blood has been yet to been spilled. Westbrook is so scared by him. He doesn't know where the supports are. But here it is, top lane.
It could be here. They get the pull back. There's a telekinesis as Lanham does show his Jester face, and they're able to take down the Lina first and foremost. Now they're putting pressure towards ZSMJ, trying to dance the courier in front of him, maybe to distract him a bit. He's going to eat a lot of damage. He will drop down for efficiency's sake to try to quickly bottle up, and he'll be fine for now. But it is EHOME who do get that first blood. And that's Lanham just playing patiently behind ROTK, waiting for a moment like that to step forward and get the telekinesis off it. Mid lane now, they get the pullback onto Inflame, and they get her down. She's not able to get the blink away, and that's what you're talking about. One good knock on the head with that stun, and she's going to have a hard time getting on out. There we go. Quickly, Hyper Glory team are able to retort, and they get a kill themselves.
Yeah, I was watching action bottom lane ZYF. All Westbrook has to do is just TP out. They don't have their Rubik there for the stun, so nothing they can really do to stop Westbrook from TPing out. So really good play from him. That's his level 4. I mean, you saw the rotations coming from EHOME. Nice play just going away. Kaka was pretty far up there. He can always tether away though, but almost too far out of range of the tether. Could have been his death, but nice realizing that they were trying to ward off the Ancients, and immediate D-ward from DDC.
Making sure they can keep that little bit of early extra vision in check here. And having that bit of high ground access certainly is nice early on when you see a bit of a rotation coming in from behind. And they're happy to have it. Both sides pretty defensive early on with their wardage. I mean, this one's got 20 seconds left. They get a fresh one there, but there they get the stun onto ROTK. They try to sidestep the anchor smash, and he just kind of walks towards the neutrals. And well, ZSMJ is able to use that ball lightning on forward and gets the takedown. As now he's able to grab up that little bit of a bounty for himself. And your Storm Spirit slowly coming together here. I don't anticipate he's going to be building up. Oh, that's a big 4-second stun. Yeah, on the mid lane. They're going to get him. Oh, he's able to blink away. Barely out and away. 28 life there. I clicked on him. He got pretty lucky with that one. That Kaka wasn't nearby on the wisp. Very close stuff. And now it's Kaka and Westbrook here. Probably going to just do a little bit of jungle farming here or stacking in the meantime. And, you know, ZYF, who's been kind of doing his own thing here on the bottom, he's going right for a Helm of the Dominator, it looks like, on his gyrocopter. But obviously, no surprise. He'll just push the lane forward, farm up a bit on the side, rinse and repeat, back to the lane. No one's looking to really oppose this gyrocopter early on. Maybe not thinking he's going to be too much of a threat because eventually, you know, your ZSMJ Storm Spirit will peak much earlier on than a gyrocopter. So he might be able to kind of get the best, making lots of moves onto him, and then the CK can help him out later to contest gyrocopter's late game.
And what RTK is going to be going for as well. I don't know. Is he going to go for that fast blink? He has a Ravage up line. Are they going to try to smoke? They don't have a smoke. He's just... I thought he... What level is his? No, he's only got a level 2 Anchor Smash. He really needs to get to level 8 before he can hear anything. I mean, they have really nothing to shut down air here. They needed to maybe smoke. They haven't used Ravage once. It'd be nice to see them do that, but I guess they're just going to, you know, farm up on the gyro. Play it a little bit safe here. And try to get ROTK to... Is he going to go for Blink or is he going to go Arcanes? No, he's flying out the courier. He's going to be going Arcanes. Easy mana boots there.
Yeah, you need that bit of extra mana. You know, if you try to be a bit greedy and go straight for the Blink Dagger, you do risk not being able to get everything off. And you know, Arcane Boots kind of is just more of the standard build-up with that. And he'll just do a little bit of jungle farming here for now. Landham does have a smoke. They actually could use it here after they clear out this stack. It looks like Inflame's going to help them out a bit. And then maybe they look to put that Ravage to use. Ideally towards the mid lane if they can kind of get a hold of Air, who's just kind of doing his own thing, building up into lots of early strength, even getting with the Bracer early on. Could look to build those into his drums. He's got the Power Treads, Wand on hand, and he's in good standing here. Kaka's going to be nearby just in case, and he has just reached level 6. So your relocate is now online and ready. And if we look at their vision, they haven't been able to really place out any sort of aggressive wards where you can hopefully get some quick picks with that relocate, but we'll see. It's actually them that are going to be smoking up now, and they're going to go on the move here. But there's already rotations towards the mid lane for EHOME. They could try to take a fight here, but they could be in for a rude awakening as the Ravage is going to be waiting for him. Ball lightning in. There goes the Zeus ultimate. They get the lift on the ZSMJ. He can't move on forward. He is actually getting solidified from the cold feet. Ravage connects onto Air and Pretty Hot. Pretty Hot gets him with the Fade Bolt. Will go down. Call down comes in from ZYF. Air's going to get knocked with it. Inflame's able to step back and away. They get the second drop, taking out Westbrook. ZSMJ goes back in once more. Tries to go for Inflame, who makes it to high ground to get away. Now ZSMJ with no mana has to walk on out and away. Oh, Hyper Glory team coming pretty dang close. Oh, that was a bit of an awkward little side relocate. Maybe trying to save him from the Ravage, but previously. But it's Hyper Glory team who are trying to at least get a little bit of bloodshed. They don't get anyone, and they end up losing too. So not a successful smoke gank. I'm sure they were not anticipating all of EHOME to be there in the mid lane.
Right, and it's kind of weird, initiation, right? I mean, you could say Storm Spirit baited out that Ravage, kind of, because Cold Feet is only level 1, so he was only held in place there for like about a second or so. So the Storm zipping away, really nice place. Else ZSMJ would have died there. So nice of him to get out. This relocate, kind of came in late. They didn't really, like you're saying, save anybody. They just went back to the fountain and healed. So the one good thing that did come out from that fight for HGT is that, they can do this, right? Their ultimates are low cooldown, whereas Tide has a long Ravage. He's going to be picked out. ROTK,
he was there for a second. I mean, I thought it could have been an illusion how fast he went down. And, they do spot out that stack. They do the ultimate,
relocate
give them the vision. They're going to go all the way to the other side of the world to see DDC, who is the weakest one, and it could be an easy pick, and it will be. Nice, good detection there. They kind of come together to set that one up, but they could get Kaka. Boop, they got it. They popped the ball right there with one last little auto attack. Good rotation there from Inflame on the Queen of Pain to get that one done, and they're not going to let Hyper Glory team walk away scot-free with just a 2-man takedown, then they'll be able to get one of their own.
Yep, nice rotation incoming there, popping the balloon.
Radiant's
Get that
bottom
sucker out of
tower
here. I don't
is
want
under
him
attack.
in my zone. Go back to your own field. And, well, looking at the Storm, I thought they'd have a little bit, you know, better farm here. Second in net worth. He's SMJ though. He's only been able to
Dire's
pick up
middle
1
tower
kill.
is under attack.
They've been trying to put out a lot of pressure. I mean, their team is kind of based on, you know, split pushing, getting the pickoffs, but they still need the items. And, oh, RK is going to be initiated on here. They have Pretty All, who has Laguna, but thinking better of it.
It's just so deep. He's committing so much mana, and it takes a little too long for Pretty Hard to kind of be there by his side. And by the time the pull's over, you know, it's not going to be an LSA to follow. So, you know, bit of hesitation here, and you can sense that Hyper Glory team are very eager to start getting those picks that you call out for, but the opportunities are just not presented for them, and that's credit to EHOME in playing very good with their positioning. With this opportunity, they're going to be farming up that big stack. That stack got really big, really quick, and Gyrocopter's just tearing it on through it. He's got some assistance here from DDC, who just loves the XP that he's sharing here, because he's trying to get level 6 and get that Ice Blast online. And this is a lot of early farm here for your Gyro, and he's going right for the BKB after telling the dominate. Not really surprised to see that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's interesting to see just how EHOME are being suffocated right now. Like they have a ward scouting out what Air and Pretty Hard are doing, but there comes the Zeus ulti there. SMJ is gonna be zipping away. Wisp is gonna be the sacrificial lamb here.
Yeah, maybe if he ran the other way, he could have tethered towards the SMJ, but it's just being caught in a bit of a pickle there. And they just kind of sense out the Wisp, know that he has really nowhere to go, and they take him down. And it's another quick pick there for EHOME as they push ahead now 5-4. And this is coming off them building in a lot of farm and wealth as Gyrocopter now reaches the top of the net worth at about 6,300 gold. And he'll just continue his farming grace. In Flame, this Queen of Pain could just look to turn it up here as she is going to be scouted out from Westbrook. He's got this invis. If he gets some help here, and it looks like ZSMJ is about to be there, makes the jump, gets the pull, and there's the burst from Westbrook. That's an easy pick right there on Inflame's Queen of Pain. And Hyper Glory team are able to get themselves back on the good graces of a kill.
Right, and well, I was gonna talk about DDC. He was like 4.5 a minute ago. But with that big stack, he's level 6. That's a huge swing now for these team fights having this AA blast. If he can hit it on the Wisp, you know, there goes all your healing powers. But they're gonna be looking like trading mid-tier tier 1 for bottom tier 1. Nice, Pretty Hard using the Light Strike Array to clear out those trees. You can't see people TPing, so it's always nice to just clear it out. Air can play aggressive here and go for this tower. They have Wisp relocate, so nice to see him just go back. No TPs were coming, so just immediately get the tower. And ZSMJ, he's gonna be going for that Bloodstone here. No fast Orchid for him.
I want to go back to Air here on your CK, going with the dual bracers. I mean, I know, you know, Chaos Knight's one who really thrives off a lot of strength. I mean, don't get me wrong, but this is, I mean, and also we don't see Chaos Knight very often, and maybe each player just kind of has their own trend, but it's dual bracers into a Midas, you know, so anticipating a bit of a later game, looking to kind of really accelerate up the farm, get the levels a lot quicker, build up a lot into that Phantasm, and of course the attack speed certainly helps with all your illusions, so you can't really hate on that too much, but you know, a bit different, and just it's going to take them that extra step or two to really string together the big items that could really help them out later on. And you know, hopefully for him and his sake, they're able to get to that point in the game where they can trade in some bracers for some big boy items like your, you know, BKB, like your heart, like your Manta or whatever. We'll have to see. And on the other side of the world, we have EHOME and ROTK, who is just a camp or two away from finishing out his Blink Dagger. So, you know, Ryu, we're going to be having Blink Ravages here momentarily for EHOME.
Right, and it could be really scary for HGT. I kind of agree with the Midas pickup in a sense that if you can make it to the later stages of the game, you should be able to get all these big items that you're talking
Radiant's
about.
top tower
And
is
it's going
under
to be
attack.
really beneficial for just him
Dire's
getting up
bottom
his
tower is
EXP
under
and the
attack.
gold. The problem is, yeah, Tidehunter is going to be having this Blink Dagger now. This is where they can put the pressure on, but they only lost one tower on the side of HGT, so their map control is looking pretty good. They only have one tower. They've only gotten one tower, so that's another thing you could be thinking of. They need to be putting more pressure on the split pushing, and Storm does almost have his Bloodstone, right? So the problem is you're gonna have a Storm with a Bloodstone. That's a fighting item. Oh, Air is gonna pick that up there.
Okay, well, they use the Zeus ult. They know that smoke's happening, but they're still going to engage. They make the go into air, but a nice relocate. Wisp is going to pull them back a few yards into safety and away from that Ravage. So your call down in Ravage is going to be now on cooldown. Nice little pullback there from
I thought he would save his
KotLGuy.
Ravage.
But
That was pretty weird. I thought he would save the Ravage for the Wisp relocate. That was... Now that's on cooldown. They could play aggressive on ROTK. He needs to be in... Okay, they have DDC over here, but... So, could have been a scary moment for ROTK.
definitely interesting. I mean, they were spotted. You know, the second Zeus dropped down the ult. They saw that. They didn't see everyone, so that means smoke's out, and they're ready to go into a more defensive position. But EHOME were persistent, still wanted to kind of take a fight, and because they were that persistent, it didn't work out too well for them. And you know, they're going to have to wait it out now as their big boy ultimates are now going to have to be on standby. It is 5-5 as we get close to this 20-minute period of the game. We have EHOME just slightly ahead in net worth at about 500 gold, and it's the other way for XP. Hyperglory team have about 1k XP advantage, so pretty close game here. ZSMJ, he's going down the more farm-intensive one. He's going straight for the Bloodstone, it looks like.
And Kaka doing this ward here, he might have gotten spotted out from Landom or DC. He's just like, hey guys, I'm camping in your forest, man. I have a forest fire here, but you can't see it. You can't see me, bros. So.
The John Cena, yeah.
Oh.
He's just able to find a little
you
bit
saw
of a
that
closet
reference.
there, yeah.
Nice.
And that was a little too close for comfort. But he gets down that nice little aggressive ward here. Not the craziest
Radiant's
division,
bottom
but
tower
it's
is
every
under
little
attack.
bit. And when you're going to be able to set something up from the high ground, it's very valuable. And well, here we go. Hyperglory team smoked up. They're looking to come in from the north
Dire's
side of this
top
bottom
tower is
lane.
under attack.
Could catch out in flame here if they make the committed jump. ROTK's there, but still needs 30 seconds for a Ravage. And I know Hyperglory team are onto it, but there's just a bit too many EHOME members here. I mean, suddenly they call everyone together, and they have a 5-man hit squad down here. And that's unfortunate for Hyperglory team. They were hoping for an opportunity to get a quick grab on 1, maybe 2. Worst case scenario, 3 people that they have to deal with, but I don't think they were anticipating EHOME being quickly all hands on deck here. And now it's them who are kind of muscling back through their woods. EHOME are doing a real nice job just kind of rotating and anticipating where Hyperglory team could be
Radiant's
looking
middle
to strike.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, if you... they're like pinging out where they think the ward is too. It's so funny. They're like, oh, I think it's here, but they're going to have to watch the replay if they want to find this ward, or pick up a gem and use their courier to scout the whole jungle. But yeah, this is really good though, right? That's what HGT needed to do. They make sure that EHOME group up, and then they just go immediately split pushing every single lane. So this is really good. Nice play from them. Even if they don't get a kill, it's definitely worth it just to make sure that EHOME just stays together and, you know, cut off their farm, right? So you could say, I'm looking at the gold graph, and EHOME is up,
Radiant's middle
but it
tower
just
is
feels
under
like,
attack.
you know, HGT, they're in a good position here
Dire's
because they're
bottom
just
tower
splitting the
is
map
under
right now.
attack.
Yeah, that is a nice thing. When you force
Radiant's
EHOME into a
top
pretty
tower is
defensive
under
position
attack.
where they have to group as 5, that means the 5 of them are not really farming and doing a whole lot. While Hyperglory team can quickly pull back and go back into farm, and they just kind of control the
Radiant's top
more
tower has
of the
fallen.
map. And well, they're going to be able to get their second tower of the game. It looks like this top tier
Dire's
one goes
bottom
down,
tower has
and
been
at that
denied.
same moment, it's going to be a trade. But it is going to be Air who does sneak in a deny, taking that bit of bonus gold away from EHOME here. A good notch for him, and suddenly Air has about 3,100 gold. I mean, any sort of wages, Ryu, as far as what his next big investment needs to be for this kind of game? Uh-oh.
You know, honestly, oh, we locate bottom lane. They scout out DDZ with the ulti. Wisp balls are gonna hit him. Can they get the vision? Yes, there it is. All right. Stop.
Well, big grab for them, and this nice little cheeky play to come in from behind and take advantage of the little weaker support. But as far as items for air, I mean, I wager just a BKB seems like the simplistic grab. Going against the Ravage after all.
I was thinking BKB and Heart, those two, right? Heart's really good just for surviving all of the, and just, you know, buffing up your illusions, buffing up your hero, making sure you can survive all the burst damage. Yeah, that's good too. BKB as well, so you can be the frontliner on these team fights. Pop your BKB as you're relocating in, so you don't get ravaged or you don't get Rubik lifted after you come in. So these are the two items that would make the most sense. Either you want to survive in the team fights, or you want to be able to initiate in these team fights. And, you know, just, I agree with you. BKB is also a great choice here.
Or if they're giving that extra nod to IG and how they played CK, Burning got a Shadow Blade on his Chaos Knight, and that definitely caught me and Blaze off guard when we were watching that match, because, you know, it doesn't really add a whole lot to the illusions. Yeah, you know, you can be sneaky with it. You're able to kind of get out of a bit of a sticky situation. You can catch people off guard, but it definitely felt outside of the norm for your CK. So seeing something like that needs to be pretty curious, but it is going to be the BKB, more of a traditional grab, and he benefits a lot, just not from the spell immunity, but he gets a lot from the strength bonus and the damage, and we'll see if he looks to put it to use right away, as it's, you know, it's still early to get a BKB. It's 10 seconds for now, but we have potentially lots of game ahead of us, and you don't want to be triggering that down to 5 seconds too fast now, but we'll see.
Right. And this is, you know, the most obnoxious, I want to say, strategy I've seen in a long time. It's kind of like along the lines of having, you know, 4 or 5 global heroes like Spectre and Zeus and everything, where you have Zeus ulti into relocate on anybody who is out of position anywhere. That is just some cheeky stuff coming in from the side of HGT. And, well, Inflame, you know, the passivity of this game is, that's what he's thinking, right? So he went for the Lincoln Sphere. I mean, it's great for canceling out, you know, the reality rift of the Chaos Knight. Pretty Hall's gonna be getting his Yule Scepter. Who's gonna be picked off here? Westbrook, maybe he could TP away and probably get away. Oh, and Flame's in trouble.
Suddenly a ZSMJ comes out of nowhere and gets the quick kill on the Queen of Pain. And a very tasty looking Westbrook holds her there long enough for that grab nonetheless, and then the relocate as well, also flying in from KotLGuy, and it looks like he's going to be taking Zeus back towards that mid lane. He's quick with those tethers, I'll tell you what, but it was funny, like just before that, I know you were chatting away, but we were watching top lane, and I was watching KotLGuy kind of just dancing around EHOME, and Wisp is one of those heroes that when he's in Viz, you don't really notice it at first. You're just kind of like, how come they're just ignoring the Wisp? But yeah, you know, you never really know when he's got double damage or Invis or anything, and just one of those funny little things. And hey, suddenly, Hyper Glory team up and ahead now, 7-5. This is their biggest net worth boost of the game, pushing past 2K, 5K of XP. Suddenly, that's a big one here. And well, ZSMJ is happy to start putting this Bloodstone to use, as he does add a charge to it, and he's going right for the BKB there next. So the itemization has really come together pretty nicely here for Hyper Glory team, and EHOME have been kind of forced into this buddy-buddy system. They've been very tight-knit together, and any opportunity there's kind of one who falls away from the pack, that's when they run into trouble. So that's more of them just being stuck together like glue. And we're just seeing it here, you know, 3, 4-man juggle farming, and maybe one Inflame out on the side because it's a Queen of Pain who has a blink, you know. But they got to play very defensive.
So last time it was 20 minutes, Jim. Now it's 26 minutes. EHOME. Let's hope they don't give it over. Gonna put it on ROTK here and try to farm up. One good thing is that HGT, like, they didn't have to get these BKBs, right? Just because they can split push the map and get the pickoffs. But they really want to have the capability to win the fight. So they did pick up 2B and
Ryu, I don't know if you can hear me, but I am losing you a little bit on the Skype side. I don't know if that's you or me, but it sounds like you might have just came back there. It was getting a little bit funky. We'll see if it continues to get weird. If we have to, we can switch over to TeamSpeak just in case. We'll see, as I don't want to miss too much quite yet. preemptive mech actually popping up here from EHOME. As maybe they're still itchy to kind of make something happen. Ravage is ready to go as it's level 2 now. You know, with ROTK's Blink Dagger, he can certainly set something up, but just those opportunities really haven't presented themselves. And yeah, Queen of Pain going for the Lincolns first and foremost. And well, it does look like the Skype side of things is not working. So I'm going to quickly shut down that Skype, fire up our other program here, connect to it real fast, and hopefully Ryu will hop in there to join me as well. Going, but there's going to be a Ravage that will fly out, but ZSMJ's got that BKB now, and they quickly get the Laguna out. Here comes the Cavalry, literally, as Air does show up with Kaka, pulls out the Phantasm, and they just get annihilated from the Sonic Wave. Air is able to get the quick snag as he does take down, you know, the ROTK, the Rubik also to fall as Lanham will hit the deck. But they do lose Air and Kaka. Now it's ZSMJ trying to get back and away from him at this point. They walk back, homing missiles on him, and, well, there's going to be your Ancient Apparition annihilated. DDC goes down to the hands of Westbrook. They're trying to run away and get on out. ZSMJ, after he throws together a little bit of mana, tries to charge on forward, but it's just a little too far. And with that, he will step back and on out. I'm going to try to reconnect my call with Ryu and see if it works here now. Hello, buddy. Can you hear me?
Hello, hello, hello.
I hear you now. Okay, okay. Well, we'll give Skype another shot. If it seems to get funky again, I'll meet you over on the TeamSpeak side of things. But it seems like we're back in good taste for now. I don't know if you caught the bit of that team fight right there.
Oh, yeah, I caught that.
Got a bit crazy right there.
Oh, yeah. CK just immediately went down. I mean, I think his BKB ran out, too. And they were, relocate already. Lanham gonna be stunned up. No, Lanham got the counter stun. They could be getting turned around on here. Kaka's gonna die. Yes.
He goes down.
No man's land.
And now it's RTK jumps in. He gets that kill, but the TP will allow the swift escape of Air as his express ticket out of there in the form of Kaka is the one that goes down. And, well, a good grab nonetheless. And Lanham, yeah, I am right. He did get up the spirits of all the spells to seal. Not the best one, but Rubik will try to make some strong use out of it there. And, I mean, there it was again. You know, Zeus looking to set something up with his Thunder God's Wrath. And they get a relocate in, but, you know, it's getting to that point where maybe EHOME could use that to their own advantage as almost a bit of a bait and then turn things right over onto him. And that almost seems to be what happened right there.
Right, and it's kind of coming down to whether or not CK can help in No Man's Land 2 here now. He's going to get picked off here, but it comes down to kind of baiting it out, maybe you know, having one person here. But the Rubik stun, I'm surprised that he didn't really use the immediate stun, or the stun immediately from Air, and he just got stunned up. But I think Kaka might have still went down anyways, just because Inflame was coming in. And man, these Lincoln Spheres definitely been saving him, saving Inflame in that last fight, just because, you know, they have the ability to chase with Storm Spirit. I mean, they had Storm Spirit with a DD, and they kind of still lost that fight. He has a DD again. Are they going to lose this next fight with it too?
It's a bad luck rune if that's the case. But ZSMJ, he is going to pull back, not looking to engage quite yet. I mean, EHOME has still been kind of sticking together here, hand in hand. And there's going to be the jump on forward. BKB's pop relocate does come in. They want to go for the gyro. The call down, though, is there. Lanham steals the ball lightning, uses it to get away. It's like Dragon Ball Z here as they're just dashing in and out. It's ridiculous, but it's a double kill for ZYF when it's all said and done. And they thought they had a good jump on the gyro, but there it is again. EHOME are right there behind him. They move in, they converge, and they're the team that comes out on top. And Hyper Glory team are not able to get anything out of it. And now you have a Lanham Rubik who has ball lightning to use.
Right, and that's his Eagles on now up for ZYF here. It's getting really scary. This gyro is a counter to CK. I mean, they don't have anything to do with his BKB when he pops it. So this is looking very scary. This last pick coming out from EHOME definitely doing a lot of work right now here, and yeah, they're gonna need Zeus with, I feel like, a Blink Dagger or a Sheep Stick to really deal with this gyro. I mean, they're gonna have to try to kite around in these team fights. This Gyro was just getting off too much damage from the flak cannon, and he's just massive AoEing the HGT, Hyperglory team down.
I mean, it's ridiculous. He hits like a freaking truck, and that truck damage just gets spread across everyone. They also have the Sonic Wave, so it seems like each opportunity Air is able to kind of dish out his Phantasm army, they just immediately go down. And it's like he doesn't even have an ultimate to begin with, and that's not a good thing. When that pretty much seems to be the bread and butter of your CK later into the game. It's something that he'll have to hope to kind of find a way to make it work, because it's not really working for him right now. This game plan of the global checkout with Zeus and then follow it up with relocate is already fallen a bit short the last 2 or 3 times, and they got to resort to maybe some new tactics to really look to take it back to EHOME, as EHOME have just put themselves right back in good position, ahead now 11-10. Net worth is going to be back to square even, and XP is almost the same. And Hyperglory team, you know, with the lineup they got, they can't afford to be going against a big dominant late game force like your Gyrocopter, like your potential double Ravage, if that's what ROTK is indeed going for. I just see the Voidstone for now, but that could be the Perseverance into it, or it could be a Yules, of course. But I just feel like the late game is more on the side of EHOME at this point. And you know, this is when your Storm Spirit's really trying to thrive. I mean, don't get me wrong, ZSMJ, he's 4-0, and he's got 11 charges on his Bloodstone. But he's going to have to look to get a lot more at this point.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And you can look at the other side, the other carry for EHOME, ZYF. He's 4-0 here too. He's doing really good right now, even though the carries. I mean, that's basically the point of this game, right? You're just gonna try to split push as much as you can for HGT. EHOME's gonna try to counter initiate, so you're not gonna be seeing too many team fights until like EHOME decide to go for a Roshan or something, or try to go 5-man down mid or something. They relocated bottom, but they didn't really get anything done too much. ZSMJ, he needs to get his sheep as ASAP. They need to find a way to get these pickoffs with his Zeus ulti again, and land him. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just having fun right there. He's trying to... was he trying to steal the... I don't know what he was trying to steal.
I mean, maybe he was just trying to get close and get a telekinesis to break the tether and not allow one of them to get out. Or, you know, force CSMJ to get stuck in his place. Is definitely a little cheeky play there, but just a little too late to get it done. And he's going to be losing that ball lightning in a moment here. Yeah, it's about to go down. And then he'll have to look for another big grab in that front. But yeah, they're standing in really good position, and I don't imagine an MKB to be coming anytime soon here. And Air has to be the one to do it. Air was able to finish out his heart, so he's a big boy. He has near 3K of HP, and he is hitting a lot harder as they do make a go for Roche. It is going to be detected as here comes the big ol' Ice Blast to fly on through. It's going to pop and connect, and Kaka, and his little bit of overcharge is going to be pretty ineffective. He's going to have to pull back and away. Once EHOME see this, now they're the ones that are en route. They're going to smoke up and see if they can catch anyone from Hyperglory team rotating in, but there's the Thunder God's Wrath coming out from Westbrook.
Didn't really do anything because they were smoked.
Yeah, so but he'll see.
Ulti.
He will see that they're missing from the map though, and they got to get the hell out of there. And they step away from the Roche and just wait for EHOME to show up. Now their smoke will pop, so EHOME are like, okay, they're somewhere close. They just popped their smoke. Now do we step in and finish out this Roche and take it for ourselves? Do we look and find them? You know, get the Bloodhounds out. We got to find them. And they're just dancing around each other quite a bit.
This is...
Radiant's middle tower.
I mean, this is going to be an easy Roshan kill for EHOME, right? But ZSMJ can pop his BKB and steal it. So there's a lot of potential. You have the mid lane as well as the bottom lane coming in too from EHOME, so they have to go back and defend here. And it should be an easy Roshan coming out from HGT because they did push out the lanes. They are coming back though. Ice Blast does scout it out. How close is ROTK? He's coming in. This will be very close.
Man, Sonic Wave. They are able to grab the Aegis. It goes to CSMJ. BKB was popped, so he's not going to get snagged from the Ravage, but they are able to bring down both Kaka and Pretty Ha. And now Westbrook's going to be in trouble. He'll go down. Call down flies out, and here comes that Gyrocopter, and he's just blasting away ripping through the heart of air. He doesn't care about how big and tanky you are. He just easily shoots you down. And the only survivor being ZSMJ with his Aegis on hand. He has to walk the hell out of there. And, well, this is not looking good for Hyperglory Team. If they're trying to take this to a Game 3, you know, they're going to really have their work cut out for them. Because here comes EHOME.
Buybacks. They need buybacks right now. Who has them? Storm has Dets and Whis. Whis is up now, though. They have a 2v5 situation here. Gyro... BKB's on cooldown, Ravage is on cooldown, Sonic Wave's on cooldown, but you need to watch out. Inflame does have a sheep stick. KotLGuy could be caught out here. He does have buyback, so it's going to be a tier 3 tower so far. Are they going to back up here? No, they're going to press the issue.
Tier 3's down. That's your classic Storm Spirit Ball Lightning TP to just kind of knock out the wave and hit him with a bit of damage, but the damage has really been done to the Hyperglory Team base. They lose to tier 3. Their melee racks goes down, and EHOME just kind of stay composed and walk away with those big winnings. And they're just in really good standing. I mean, king of net worth right now, no surprise, ZYF at near 22K, 21.7 technically, but he already has 3K of gold put together after completing his butterfly. I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, I just assume he's going to finish out the Satanic. And at that point, he might as well have he might as well have an Aegis on at all times, because that's just an easy second life with the amount he's going to be able to steal with the flat cannon. It's just going to get crazy.
Yeah. It would be fun to see. Oh, bottom lane, they're going to go for the relocate sheep stick. They're going to bring him down. This is the comeback, and Inflame blinks in, so he's going to go down.
Oh, okay, okay. Hyperglory Team quickly put together 2. And it looked like EHOME weren't even suspecting that one. It was a good smoke movement there. Just quickly, Hyperglory Team going on the aggressive, and now it's them pushing the bottom lane, going towards the high ground. Now both Queen of Pain and Gyro have a buyback ready to go if they feel like they're forced to use it. But yeah, ZSMJ, 13 charges and an Aegis. He can stay way out in front. And there's going to be the buyback. Simultaneous buyback as the Blink and Ravage tries to hold him in place. TP rotation to get ZYF into the fray. Air's going to go down. He's out. No buyback. Westbrook, he's going to be able to quickly make an escape, but not so lucky there for Pretty Highs. Lanham's going to be able to snag her. And, well, it does cost 2 buybacks from EHOME, but they lose nothing inside the baseline. And they're able to get 2 kills with those buybacks. So, turns out to be pretty worth it here for EHOME. And now they're in good standing. They might even just take it back the other way if they really want to.
Yep. It's looking pretty tough. They did manage to do those 2 buybacks. Those are in cooldown for now of 6 more minutes. Aegis is expiring in 2 minutes. So, Storm Spirit can play. They can do that again aggressively. Do they have any smokes coming in on their side? They have a minute left until they come back. Is there any? No. So HGT, they kind of have to wait a minute if they want to do the relocate onto DDZ. He should be going down here. No mechanism.
He's trying to get him down quick. He will get it, but they immediately focus KotLGuy, and they do take down the Wisp. So it's just a support for a support. Man, ZSMJ can jump real far, man. I can't even catch up with the freaking camera as he makes it near all the way to his secret shop from that bottom lane, it looks like. But, I mean, that's not... It's pretty good. I mean, ZSMJ is able to get another charge for himself, you know, a little bit of extra pocket change. But his Aegis will end up going down here momentarily. He's going to have 2K gold. I mean, what does he need to get at this point, Ryu, to help his squad out? I mean, on your Storm Spirit, it's not typical to go for MKB, but does he have to go for something like that in this case just to get the little bit of extra damage out there onto your gyrocopter? I mean, when you're going against someone who's got this kind of evade, Storm Spirit relies on connecting with those right clicks to do the big damage.
I think he's going to go for his Shiva's Guard, but I would like to see, you know, some kind of attack speed item. He didn't go for the Orchid. Maybe go for... I don't know, so there's some funky things you can get, right? Mjolnir could be something that could work out for him. They don't really need it, but I don't think Orchid is the correct thing just because there's the Lincoln Sphere and the BKB over on the other team. I mean, you can Orchid the Tide Hunter, ROTK, but I think he needs to get the Shiva's Guard, needs to get the bonus armor coming up. They need to find a way to get a Cuirass too, because ZYF is still hitting like a truck, as we've been mentioning. And well, here comes, I think, the counterplay. Oh no, they just found the ward out. I thought they were gonna smoke under a ward, but sadly not.
I think they're just gonna wait out. I mean, ROTK just got his refresher orb, so they wait for that, and we also have to wait for him. But now you got double Ravage on the side of EHOME, and that's a big thing right there. And it's okay, ROTK. I know you just kind of need a moment to take it in. It's a refresher. You got it. All right. So just put it back in your pocket now, and it's EHOME who are gonna have that big tool in their arsenal for the next fight. And you're already looking at ZSMJ. He's at 5 seconds on his BKB. Let's check out CK. He's at 5 seconds on his BKB. I mean, there's no way they're going to be able to have enough to stop both Ravages. And that's going to be rough because at this point in the game, it only takes one big team fight, and then you're losing racks. And they've already lost the melee there in the mid lane. Another set to go down, and it could be elimination from Summit 3 here for Hyper Glory team if they're not careful.
I mean, ZSMJ, he keeps on getting double damage rooms. This is the answer to their prayers right now for HGT. All these fights have been coming down to Storm having CDs, so maybe this time the gods will be with him. But yeah, he needs to get up a few more charges, I want to say, for ZSMJ, about 20, so he can almost respawn instantly. So they need to find find some more pickoffs, because if he could have, an instant respawn, and also having, maybe an Aegis or a buyback, that could be, 3 or 4 lives, because that's the only way I'm seeing them really winning the team fights right now.
I like this. Lanham had taken the Phantasm, so he's using it to kind of scout out with these fake little Rubiks all over the place. I was curious, like, when we saw it in the draft, I was like, that'll be funny to see Rubik take Phantasm and suddenly just spawn a bunch of Rubiks all over the place.
I mean, he's CSing right down here in the mid lane. He already took 1 creep. He's definitely doing his CSing right now, too.
Man, that micro work, man. He's putting it in.
He's a Naga. He's a Naga. He needs Radiance.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Naga.
Rubik with Radiance. That's the new meta. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, he's probably just using it because he was about to lose it regardless. It looks like it already expired at this point, but definitely fun. And, well, he'll pull back at least for now. And EHOME surprisingly taking it a little bit slow here. I figured that once they were going to get this refresher ready to go, that they were going to be ready to play, as they felt like they were probably in a more comfortable position. Maybe they're waiting for Gyro to, well, he does have the Satanic. Wait for the Satanic to get complete, which it is now. So if they want to smoke, DDC's got it. Come on, buddy. Put it in the pipe. Light it on up. Let's go. All right. Stay off drugs, kids.
If they lose a fight, though, yeah, it's like if they lose a fight, though, they have a minute till their buyback's up. I think they really want to just farm it. The problem is they're gonna need like 2 or 3 more minutes to farm the buybacks because they bought all the items. So it's gonna be interesting to see how long they want to wait. And it's a big gamble. And in this meta game, if you die and you're dead for 2 minutes, you could lose the game right off the bat.
Yeah.
So not taking any chances, trying to close this game out. I mean, that's the great thing too, right? HGT, they feel pressured here. They don't know if they're smoked. They just saw ZYF farming on the bottom lane, so both teams smoking up here. Oh, KotLGuy.
Here we go. They both know it might be also Roche time here soon, but there they pop. ROTK jumps in. He catches a huge Ravage 1. Ravage 2 can follow there shortly, but he might not even need it as they already dropped 4. Double buyback is forced to come out because Hyper Glory team don't want to allow them to get the easy kill. But then it's going to be a 5-man wipe as DDC pecks the last one at the end with his Ice Blast. ROTK, of all people, to scout him out first, just quickly does the little leapfrog jump up and ahead. It only is like a 5-foot jump, but that puts him right into the meat and potatoes of Hyper Glory team, and he just annihilates him with a Ravage. And he's able to even spare one more here for a base push.
Yeah, Storm Spirit dying to the AA blast there at the end. That's... whew. Alright, well, that's a 5-man Ravage. That's the best one I've seen in a long time. Didn't even need to use the second one, as you were saying. So this is going to be a great high ground siege. Now BKB is off for ZYF. That's what they were waiting on here.
Dire's top
And they have the
tower is
Lincoln
under
Sphere on him.
attack.
He's unstoppable. They have nothing to cancel the Lincolns and BKB. Nothing goes through it. They can't
Dire's
kill him
structures
once.
are fortified.
Oh my goodness.
He's like a flying battleship at this point. You're just like, what the hell are we gonna do about that thing? The big glowing blue ball is like flying at us and destroying everything in its wake. And they actually almost bring down the tower. They will get it. It's not going to be
Dire's top tower
denied.
has fallen.
So now your top racks are going to be exposed. And at this point, EHOME are going to walk back and probably look to go for the Roche. It is up. Landon's probably going to be there on the scene to quickly scout it on out. And, you know, they can take another team fight here. They have the Ravage to spare. Satanic's still online. You know, BKB's all ready to go. But Hyperglory team, they anticipate it. They're already there. Surprisingly, they're not going to see EHOME doing it. So they just are going to be forced to kind of stick around because they can't really do it themselves. Yeah, they get a nice little D-ward though. But CSMJ's like, I'll start it. Let's go.
I mean, right, this is the only play they can make. This is what they have to do. Tide uses Ravage once. They know the refreshers off cooldown. Queen of Pain used 2 Sonic Waves during that. Her refreshers off cooldown now. Or not, her Sonic Waves off cooldown. Still refreshes there. But they need to make something happen.
Money to burn.
Okay, well, homing missile on the Westbrook could help set something up. Suddenly a call down. There's a nice force, but RTK catches 3 with the Ravage. Kaka comes in, is able to relocate Westbrook to the high ground, though. And now it's going to be your Gyro looking to right-click and annihilate. Air's able to get the grasp on the DDC, but can't quite finish him off. Lana will go down, however. And now our OTK looking to kind of get in the mix and nerf down the damage from Air. He will end up going down. And now it's going to be EHOME to move into the pit here. And it looks like Westbrook is just kind of stranded. He does have a TP.
Inflame's going to find him, maybe. No. He blinked down, not up. Westbrook would have died to Quap there. He had a forced out to get down though.
It's a 2 for 2. But it's just 2 supports on EHOME as they're able to take down Air in addition to Pretty Haw and his Lina. And they don't go right for Roche. Westbrook's still here. He's like, is there a ward up there? No. Hello? He keeps zapping up there, but there's nothing there. We know that. He's hit it like 3 times now.
He's just saying, alright, they have to keep going to roast, right? They're gonna roast. They have to roast. They're gonna roast. They have to roast. This is the definition of insanity, KotLGuy.
Why does he keep zapping that?
Yes, he's like, he wants vision. He's like, alright, they have to be doing roast. They have to be doing roast. It's so funny to watch, though.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Gives him a little bit of vision without kind of giving away that he's nuking in the area. But the second he actually leaves, that's when they move in.
Yeah, that's the best part. He wasn't insane.
Yeah, he's like, okay, they're not doing it. And now he's going to see the message. And he's like, God dang it, I just left that area. But, well, it's EHOME who kind of move in. This puts him in already a very strong spot to put a lid on this game. And it's going to be real difficult for Hyperglory to defend. EHOME have looked pretty impeccable today. And now they hold a 14k net worth advantage and a 15k XP advantage. Hyperglory team, they're probably going to fight tooth and nail to the bitter end because this is potentially their last game in the Summit 3. They're probably going to look to make every second count, even if it's like a Hail Mary of a play and holding their last racks. We'll have to see if they can get it or not. But EHOME, they're taking things nice and slow. They pressure mid lane, they pressure bottom lane, and now that they got this Aegis, they'll just kind of push out their top lane a bit, and then maybe they'll make that final push happen.
Right. I mean, what's Gyro's next item? He's getting a Lincoln Sphere. So they have a lot of defensive capabilities now. Nothing can stop him once he goes for... I mean, Storm is basically all they have to initiate on him. We saw him get picked off on the bottom lane once with the relocate and to the sheep, but now, you know, ZSMJ, he has to be zipping using his electric vortex first and then sheeping, which gives a little bit of time for him to react onto the Gyro to pop his BKB. So things just got a lot harder when initiating it. Pretty Haw, bye-bye.
Poor Pretty Haw, just caught the wrong neighborhood and quickly just gets annihilated before he can even blink. He goes down, and now EHOME just kind of moved towards the base. They'll have no Lina for about a minute without a buyback. They move in through the mid. And he just takes one glance at that mid-range Rax and gets it down. A good jump in on the inflate, but ZSMJ, his BKB will end here, and RTK is just going to walk on forward and drop down a Ravage, maybe two of them even. BKB is going to be popped for ZYF. Dishes out some right-click damage here. Air trying to walk away, but Telekinesis will keep him in place, and suddenly the Rax are... I mean, look at the chunk of damage that this Gyrocopter just does. It's ridiculous. And now it's 2 Rax down. Hyperglory team on the verge of, fortunately, handing this game over. The Hyperglory team fan, and for EHOME, they are going to have their chance at revenge of LGD. And they're only 1 Rax away from getting it. They move on in now. They're going to get the pull onto Kaka. They pull him in, and they pop him. The Wisp now going to be out for a minute. No buyback for him either. And now they're just going to parade toward the last set of Rax. Lincoln's is going to be popped, but the damage flies on through. A secondary Lincoln's even going to be popped there. They are going to get the stun. They are going to get the pull back. This is Gyrocopter's first life, though. Oh, it's not. He had no Aegis. He's out for 100 seconds, but ROTK does show up, gets off the Ravage, and, well, they're going to get the kill onto Air. It's going to force out his buyback now, and with their Gyro being out of the picture, EHOME are actually going to be forced back and away. So Hyperglory team do pull out a bit of defense. Cost them quite a bit, but okay, well, ZSMJ, he's flying. Okay, I'm catching up with you, boy. And he can't quite get a hold of anyone, as it looks like ROTK was able to blink away.
Yeah, they were able to blow up Gyrocopter because of the Lena's ulti there. Else ROTK would have hit another great Ravage. So he got the Ravage off, but still the BKB would storm, and they had enough damage, burst damage, to pop Gyro before he could pop his Satanics. So really well played there, coming, you know, just a little bit of signs of life, right? They need to do that about, I would say, 5+ more times, though, for HGT to really have a great shot at this, because, I mean, they don't know it, but we know it. Gyro doesn't have a buyback. That could be, you know, a high ground siege. They don't have a Ravage. They don't have 2 Ravages. So this would be a perfect time for HGT to press the issue, but they can't just because of how far behind they are, and they don't have any map control. So
it's rough, but it just might have to be one of those times when you go for your YOLO kind of a play, because it's apparent that they can't confidently take a pretty big team fight at this point, and they're just gonna have to try their best to think of some way to really get themselves back into it. And, you know, as I said, I'm expecting them to fight to the bitter end, whereas this could have been already a GG at any other match. And it's potentially your last game of this tournament. You know, you're going to reach for any chance you can get. And, well, Air, he's going to be put off quite a bit, as he does have his plate mail now. We'll see if it's going to be the AC grab. He's got about 1,700 gold built up towards it. It's a nice tool, and it will definitely help out a little bit, but I mean, is it enough? I mean, just look at this stacked Gyrocopter here. It's crazy. He hits really, really hard. And ROTK, he's got 1K. He hasn't really put together anything new except for the pipe. So the pipe is certainly nice to have. It forces the Zeus to be nerfed down quite a bit, and they really would love to have that extra bit of burst. I mean, EHOME now...
It's nice to see a pipe, you know?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I saw one in the game. It's nice to see it being picked up for one.
You forget what it looks like sometimes, just because you never see it that often. But.
It's like Veil, too, and Rod of Atos. I mean, those items are good, but you don't see them too much.
Ron Atos would help out Hyperglory team for popping out these Lincolns from afar, but yeah, it's not looking like that's going to be happening anytime soon. EHOME for now are just kind of all moved down here, and they're looking to go towards the last set of Rax. And they're slowly strutting their stuff that way. They got 1 Ravage, they'll have 2 Ravage in 5 seconds. And that's pretty much all they could ask for. And this is what could be Hyperglory team's final hurrah here in the Summit 3. They don't pull out a good defense here, they're going to be done. And EHOME are going to be moving on to the next stage to face LGD in the finals. We'll see if they can do it. EHOME, they can taste their chance to go to that series, and then they're just 1 step away from making it to the Summit House and getting that 1 spot at the land. Here's a smoke, and they're going to all put on their little mittens. They get the chilling touch. Then it moves forward, gets the pullback. Telekinesis on the Westbrook. Relocate save. Ravage actually not going to connect on anyone as Air did have the BKB out, but Air now eating a bit of damage. Looks like ZYF wants to kind of focus fire Air as he has no buyback. They do take him down. 100 seconds out. CK not going to be here, and this looks like the beginning of the end, Ryu, because they're just going to focus these racks and take him down. And Flame is going to be happy to kind of step on over and clear out the backline supports with ROTK, but this is it. EHOME.
This is it. They're getting fountain dives here, man. They could just go in there and just. They haven't even popped Satanic on ZYF. That's mega. They're still gonna fight it out, as you're saying. I mean, they can't kill Storm anymore. He can maybe get some pickoffs here.
Okay, well, ZSMJ, he's gonna give it all he can as he moves in for Inflame, but he does end up going down. There's gonna be the blast from above, and well, now EHOME, even though they look like they're barely alive, they've already wiped the floor clean of Hyper Glory Team as they're going to be going for the final throne, and they'll just dance at the end. But this is it. EHOME, they win. They take down Hyper Glory Team 2-0 in this best-of-3 series, and they will now be facing LGD in the finals of the Summit 3 China qualifier. That match will be happening tomorrow. It's a best-of-5 where LGD will have the winner bracket advantage, where I believe they automatically win the coin toss for games 1, 3, and 5 if necessary. But props, of course, to Hyper Glory Team. They looked very impressive. They probably won over some new fans. You know, you got KotLGuy, who looks very, very good. ZSMJ has been a strong Dota player for however long Dota's been a game. And it's just been very impressive stuff. So we do wish them their best on their future plays and their future tournament adventures. But their Summit 3 road does end here. And congratulations to EHOME as they will move forward. And well, Ryu, before we wrap things up, any final thoughts on this game and the series as a whole?
Last game, EHOME played it perfectly. This game, I thought HGT could maybe take it to him. You said that they did have the better late game in the gyrocopter. I kind of felt the same way, unless, you know, you saw the Chaos Knight get ahead. You can't really fight from behind as a Chaos Knight. That's why we kind of saw him go for the Midas, preparing for this late game. Storm Spirit, you know, with the Zeus ultis trying to get pickoffs here and there, trying to split the map. They tried valiantly, but eventually it just got to the point where they picked up their BKBs from Storm and CK, and then they tried to man fight them, and that did not work out at all. ZYF just annihilated them with the AoE. I mean, this lineup's just meant to crush a Chaos Knight, so Chaos Knight just seemed to get countered this game. The hero just felt really useless, and it was just too much for a Storm Spirit to really carry, and just really well played coming out from EHOME this game.
Yep, props to them, and congratulations once more. We'll see them go up against LGD tomorrow about the same time, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's like 6 a.m. Eastern, and I don't know, I want to say like 1800 Singaporean time. We'll make sure we have it all up there, so you can check us out on our social media for more at Beyond the Summit. You can catch me over at KotLGuy, and you can catch my great co-caster here. Show him some love and support at RyuUboruZDotA. If you want to check the spelling, you can kind of look above at the title of the stream as it's right there. But we're done here, folks. It's a pleasure to be casting these games for you, even though I see the sun come up every day as I get to cast these games. It's always a pleasure and all in good fun. We'll see you next time for more Summit 3 action presented by Gigabyte. Take care.
You live in a basement, man. You lie.